Get through the morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hazy on Nova.
I need you to straighten up for me and be on your best behaviour, because this is quite possibly the most important guest that we've ever had on the Jody and Hazy show.
Oh, it's Jason Horne-Francis.
No. Very, very
higher than
higher
Jason
than
Horne-Francis.
Jason.
Oh my God!
I know you never thought it was possible. Please say a very good morning to our Prime Minister, Mr. Anthony Albanese. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm very well. Thanks for having me on the program.
Well, thank you for coming to South Australia and doing all things the North-South corridor.
Well, it's a fantastic announcement yesterday with the Premier, Peter Malinowskis, $15.4 billion project, South Australia's biggest ever infrastructure project, to finally complete the North-South corridor. So it will be a fantastic project. It'll boost jobs. It'll take away 21 sets of traffic lights.
Oh.
It will make the journey north-south 40 minutes shorter. So if you take 40 minutes off people's travel time, you're boosting productivity, and of course also you're boosting road safety.
Well, Prime Minister, we've come a very long way, because I'm not sure if you're aware, but for a very long time down south, we had a one-way freeway.
I am certainly aware.
I've long wondered who was in that meeting that signed off on that one-way freeway. Can you confirm or deny that you were actually part of that committee that said yes, let's go for it?
I certainly wasn't there, and it was a source of a good trivia quiz.
Oh,
I've got to say.
Yeah.
Where is there a one-way freeway that then turns around the opposite way in the afternoon?
Yeah. Nowhere else on this planet.
Pretty unique.
Prime Minister, that is unique. And probably more unique is our new national hero, and that is Raygun. Rachel Gunn, breaking to the next level. Your immediate thoughts on our newest hero?
That she had a crack, and the Olympics is all about participation and having a go, doing your best and representing your country, and she did all of that. So I think some of the criticism that she's caught, there's been a bit of a pile-on, which I think is really unfair. I just think, good on her for having a go. And wearing a trackie while you're doing it. I mean, how Australian is that?
Well, yes, it was long associated with former Prime Ministers. I don't think I've ever seen you going out for a morning walk in your full green and gold trackie, though.
No one wants to see that.
Different party, and that was the John Howard era,
yes.
And now you've progressed and gone in a different direction, and that's fine.
It's also a bit cold for really early morning walks in Canberra, I've got to say, during winter. But I do like to get fit when I can, and I walk the dog around Canberra here. And the sad thing about that is that everyone says hello to Toto, because they all know her, and they just sort of ignore me, really, That's the Australian way. That's the great thing about Canberra.
Yeah.
No one worries about seeing the PM. It's just like, there he is.
That's the great leveller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that your feet stay grounded. Hey, we were talking off air, Prime Minister, about the idea. We're fascinated by just how incredibly our athletes have performed over at Paris. Do you send texts, or in any situation, do you send texts to athletes after they've won a gold medal or won a grand final or anything?
How does it work?
I do send some messages, and I had FaceTime with the athletes the other day who finished their courses, or in some cases, a couple of boxers who were about to compete in their semi-finals. So they hadn't finished yet, but we had a really good chat and a shout-out. And I'm so looking forward to welcoming them home at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. They get back to Sydney. Some of them will hang about and I suspect have some fun in Europe, which is most deserved after their efforts. But it's been pretty extraordinary. They've done us pride, and they have brought us joy and excitement. Yeah. But I think Australians have been invested in it as well, and it has been really uplifting for the whole nation.
We were very invested in Jess Trengove winning the marathon halfway through. Don't worry, she's a good South Australian girl and we love her. Prime Minister, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too. And say hi to Toto for us too.
Will do.
Let's get down, ladies and gents. Oh, what a weekend it was for the games, but in particular, our new favourite national hero, Raygun. Pew, 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 pew. Rachel Gunn. Who knew that breaking was even a sport?
Who sat there and went, you know what, we need to put this on the Olympic stage? This is my whole thing.
That's the big question.
Because even the final, I was like, what is this?
Oh, if you're just catching up, so Rachel Gunn represented us with distinction at the Games in Paris for breaking, which is the newest Olympic sport. It is breakdancing. Yeah, that's right. If you're hearing that for the first time, it is an Olympic sport. It really, really boggles the mind. She crashed out really, really early. I don't think she scored a single point.
No. Does it not belong in a car park on a video film clip? You know what I mean?
Spot on. Maybe with the Bomb Funk MCs. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Big Mac meal, thanks.
I mean, can I just be devil's advocate and say I feel really sorry for this woman now? She's the butt of worldwide jokes.
No, I feel sorry for her as well.
Yeah, and she's just fodder for the internet.
Yeah, I absolutely... Do you know, I think she was hung out to dry, one, with the uniform. The uniform wasn't cool at all. It was embarrassing.
It was Kath and Kelsbeck.
She looked like she was bowling, lawn bowls.
Yeah, she did.
Rather than
She was playing
freestyle.
cricket.
100%.
Yeah.
Abs, I reckon you got some strong thoughts on this. What do you reckon?
Okay, to an extent, yes, I feel sorry for her because you never
No, you don't.
To
No,
an
you never,
extent.
like, if you woke up and all of a sudden there's memes across it's not only the country but across the world. Like, this has gone to every corner of the globe, right? On the other side of that, she had to qualify to get in there. And she came out afterwards and she said, I knew I was never going to win. I just wanted to bring some unique moves, blah, blah, blah. It's the Olympic Games. Do you not go to the Olympics to try and win and do your best? It's not a mockery. It's not just go there and bounce around like a kangaroo. Like, I just... And then Anna Mears came out, and not to... I get it. The hate and it's not hate, but the memes and all of that is she's going to have a really hard time, I think, moving forward. But Anna Mears came out and basically said, you know, how dare people do this to a woman? And she sort of made it about gender. And all of the comments and everyone I've spoken to goes, it's not about gender. If a man got up there and did that, everyone would have had the same reaction.
I'll give you the hot tip. If it was a man, it probably would have been worse. Because she's got better rhythm and moves than most men.
You look at the kid who then got up, the 16-year-old, who then got up and went after her.
J-Attack!
He was amazing. He was absolutely incredible. And for us to say, like, I would love to put the call out there. Surely we've got women across the country who can break dance, who can do it properly. And Raygun, I'm sorry to say that, but just, yeah, to me...
Wasn't she our number one breakdancer?
Apparently she was the number one and she was the best. But jumping around like a kangaroo, I don't think is what we could have put forward.
Yeah, do you know what, though, Jodes? And you brought it up before, but the Batuta Advocate, how did they summarise it?
Oh, the Batuta Advocate, who never, ever seems to miss, just said, Australia not ready for new sick moves.
And I think that sums it up beautifully, because racking my brain, I can't tell you my top 5 Aussie freestyles. I just can't.
One of the, I think it was one of the Channel 7 news reporters went and saw her. She was walking around the city, and he went up and tried to speak to her, and she didn't want to talk. She got her phone out, pretended to be on the phone. But when he made a comment, he said, he made a comment, and he said that the husband, it's her husband and also her coach. Now, if you said to Greg, hey, I want to do breakdancing at the Olympics, and he said, I'm going to coach you, and you put together what she put together, would you not expect him to turn around and go, hang on a sec, babe, I know that you're really passionate about this, but I don't think we're going to be good enough.
There's something in that.
Excuse me.
There's something in that.
Do not underestimate Greg Otter, who's just spent 2 whole days at a kids' troop dance competition, and at one point turned to me and went, well, I don't like tap.
Not good enough. There's definitely something in that. Not happening at 2028. It's already been said it's not going to the LA Olympics. But guess what's happening in 2032? Not sure, but if it does, Jodie Oddie is going to enter, coached by Greg Oddie. There it is.
You heard it here first.
Oh, God. Get out my best Aussie tracksuit, guys.
Hey, we're going to speak to the Prime Minister very soon. We'll get his thoughts on this, because this is a national headline.
Yes, it is.
And no doubt he'll go into bat for him. Maybe we'll just have to ask the Prime Minister about some of his sick moves back in the day. Let's talk about Australia's new national hero. Oh, you can picture it, can't you?
Yep.
Rachel Gunn, a.k.a. Raygun.
Raygun.
Pulling those moves. In particular, the hopping kangaroo.
Yeah.
That's what really wowed the judges. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it disgusted them. Not a single point she received.
Oh, no. And according to producer Zoe, there were some signs in the qualifiers, if you've seen the videos of her qualification for the Olympic Games.
But that's our best. She's the best that we've got. We spoke to the Prime Minister just before, Anthony Albanese, and he said, quite rightfully, good on her for having a crack.
Yes, indeed. But it can be difficult when 2024 Paris was your moment to shine on the breakdancing stage, and it all went horrendously pear-shaped.
Yeah. You only get one shot sometimes. One shot to really, really make it in this life. And you feel like there's a lot of situations for athletes you build up for 4 years. And you just sort of wonder if our girl Raygun was responsible for not making it to 2028.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope not.
LA have gone, we won't be doing that at our games.
I didn't base it on that.
No. When your moment on stage goes horribly wrong, that's the thing we want to talk about on 13-24-10 this morning, because I, over the weekend, had a bit of an incident.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
So let me preface this by saying I am not a dance mum. Hats off to them, because that in itself should be an Olympic sport.
Hang on a second. Do you go to these little dance competitions with your daughter?
100%.
And guess what?
No.
You're a dance mum.
No, but I'm not the traditional dance mum of the show where you get so heavily invested. Anyway.
I've heard you shouting at the kids before. Fighting with the other mums.
Not.
Over the top competitive.
I'm
just
not.
lathering makeup on the youngsters.
Anyway, Hazy, sometimes you have no choice but to enter the dance bunker, which I did in a 2-day troop competition.
Dance bunker. What is that?
It was literally,
like hell.
I'm not kidding, it was an underground bunker below the stage on the weekend. So I spent a lot of time down there. And the thing is, in between dances, you've probably got sometimes 2-3 songs to get tights off, to get leotards off, to get them into their new costume. I'm terrible at it, particularly under pressure. So the first act that I had to prepare my 11-year-old was a beautiful number called Gangnam Style.
Oh, yeah. One of the most iconic songs of this generation. Well done, Sai.
She had about 4 minutes to prepare to Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
So I'm rifling through her dance bag, trying to get her changed. Yeah. And I'm like, where's your bow tie, mate? Where's your bow tie? And she's gone, well, I didn't have a bow tie in rehearsal, so I don't have a bow tie. Oh, no. So then we had to go to the head of the dance company and say, can you hastily fasten together a bow tie, which they cut some ribbon, got a safety pin and pinned it on her. So that was the first one. The second one of my dance mum failure, she had a hat. She had a hat for this little, old school song and dance number that they had to do. And she had a hat, and she goes, Mum, you need to pin that on. And I'm like, mate, it's a full-on hat. There's no way I can pin that to your head. And so, again, we had to go to the head of the dance school and say, well, how do I pin this? And they're like, where's the elastic for the hat?
Oh, my God.
Where is the elastic? So they're sewing on the elastic for the hat, and I'm sitting in the audience going, I'm the worst at this, I'm so bad. But as the song and dance number is folding, I'm just watching this hat slowly but surely creep to the back of her head.
The crowd as well. Crowd couldn't handle it.
The other...
Look at her hat.
I'm just going to say that my mother, Cheryl Smith, would be very angry with you.
Yeah, I think all the other mums were angry with me because I'm not doing my job properly. One of them texted me from the audience and went, oh, my God, her hat. I'm vomiting in my mouth. Two things that you're terrified of as a dance mum is the bun falling out, because the bun's very important, and the hat sliding off the head. Well, and not having a damn bow tie.
There you go.
All three.
It wasn't even your daughter's fault. It was your fault. So 13-24-10, when did you stuff up on the big stage? You're responsible for your daughter stuffing up on the big stage.
Well, she didn't stuff up. She was magnificent.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Hat malfunction.
Never has there been such a wardrobe malfunction since the great Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson.
If you ever get invited back, you need
Cheryl help?
Oh, Cheryl will set you up. So she'll give you a little kit that's got all of, if anything goes wrong, this is what you go to. There's pins, there's ribbons.
Wait. Are you bearing the lead here? Did you dance as a child?
Oh, of course I did, for years. I went back as an adult as well and danced.
Did you?
Yeah, until I left and went to Queensland.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of Gangnam Style right now.
Okay, we did better songs than that. But anyway, so there's a photo of the three of us girls. So I've got two sisters, and there was us standing in front of the TV, and we had 23 costumes around us.
That's amazing.
Yeah. My old dance studio with Carol Benson on South Road has just been demolished. Carol Benson, she used to dance on Channel 9, by the way, has just been demolished. It was actually I drove past it and got really teary because I was like, oh my God, we had so many of our memories there.
There you go.
Yeah.
13, 24, 10, when did you stuff up on the big stage? Best call this morning as well. We'll send you off to the Kentan Hotel with a $100 voucher. I want to tell you next as well about one of my biggest stuff-ups. When I first started doing gigs.
We need to get to this.
At some of these big pubs. Very nervous early days, and one in particular went disgustingly pear-shaped.
Just before we get to that, quickly, contemporary, jazz, hip-hop, what was your go-to?
No hip-hop. I did contemporary, tap and jazz.
Oh, great.
We don't love tap.
13, 24, 10. When did you stuff up on the big stage? And with all due respect, Jodes, with all due respect, we love that she's had a crack. But Raygun, we're just sort of wondering if that was the big moment.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite go to plan, do you know what I mean?
Well, sometimes these athletes do a lot of mental preparation. I'm not sure that the kangaroo bit was part of that. Anyway.
It was unique. It was iconic. Very uniquely Australian. But unfortunately, the judges weren't feeling the vibes.
Now, you're innately a performer. We all know that. You used to perform acoustic sets in pubs. Ever had a moment?
If I ever had a moment. So when I first started playing gigs, by the end of it, you don't get nervous and you just sort of have fun and you're not trying to overanalyze the situation. Some of my first gigs, I did one at the Austral and it was a Friday night and I think it was supposed to be for a residency. So I was supposed to be there for the next sort of couple of months on a Friday and I was very, very nervous. A couple of mates came to watch me play as well.
That's your first mistake. Don't ever have any friends or family in the audience.
So I thought it would calm me down.
Right.
And it probably did. But unfortunately, I probably went too far the other way. I went for it in like the second song, like really tried to belt out Holy Grail, Hunters and Collectors. And I remember just potentially after the song sitting there going, I'm in a bit of trouble here. Like, I think that I've learnt now since that what I did was I strained a vocal cord.
Oh.
And I completely cooked myself.
So it's like footy's version of pulling a hammy, which you've also done.
Absolutely.
On the big stage.
The 40,000 beers beforehand didn't help.
No, that was before I'd even drink beers. I was so nervous and keen to perform.
Yeah.
You can imagine what it would have been like as well. It was packed too, Austral on Friday night. And this is what they would have heard.
Yeah, we raised 4 corners of the globe for the Holy Grail.
Yeah, really shocked reaction. And then I had to go to the manager and say, I think I'm done.
Wait, you withdrew like an Australian marathon runner after 1.2 Ks.
I couldn't sing effectively. I did my hammy in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was so embarrassing. And then, surprise, surprise, I didn't get asked back.
I was going to say, how did the rest of your Las Vegas residency go after that?
Yeah, not too well, unfortunately. Had to redirect my gig route from there. 13, 24, 10, when did you stuff up on the big stage? Good morning to you, Phil.
Hey, Philip.
G'day, how you guys doing?
We're so good. You sound up and about. What was your big moment and how did you stuff it up?
Well, back a few years ago now, back in primary school, we had an assembly and ironically it was a mock-up of the Olympics. And I got just tasked with doing weightlifting. So, Mum, bless her, she helped we got one of the curtain railings and had 2 balloons that we blew up and tied onto the ends. They were the weights, quote unquote. And as I was lifting it in front of, heaps of people, the left side came off.
Oh, no.
So, quick thinking and my knowledge of The Simpsons, I don't know if you remember the episode where Homer's lifting up the weights and the weights are falling off and he lifts up the empty bar. Well, quick thinking, I knocked off the other side and I lifted the whole thing up.
And the crowd absolutely went nuts.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And on top of that, Phil, great Simpsons reference there as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is it the boxing episode? Is he training to be a boxer? It's during some sort of training montage.
Yes, yeah, and all the weights are coming off and he scares the heck out of the cat.
Yeah,
I mean, you two could just compare Simpsons references all day, couldn't you?
We could do that until the cows come home. Great story, Phil.
Colleen, good morning. What was your big moment?
G'day. Hi. I'm a drama teacher. And I trained these Year 12s to improvise and make sure that if they forgot their lines, they'd help each other out. And a couple of days before it went on, somebody dropped out, so I had to take the role. I'm on stage, the big moment comes, and I just froze. I did not know my lines. I couldn't think of anything. And the girl that had never, ever got it right got me out. She just said something which, prompted my line, and I think I gave her an A that term.
Yes.
What did you give yourself, though, Colleen, is the big question.
I'd say a D. I've definitely got a D for that.
That's the biggest fear.
It's the worst.
Like you're in the spotlight and you've got recited lines and your brain disappears.
We live in fear of the blank, especially on television.
Oh, my gosh.
On here, at least, we've got each other,
Yeah.
to have each other's back if we forget something.
Sometimes I'll throw it to Jodie because I can't remember what I'm supposed to say, and I'll look at you and your eyes looking in different directions. Like you've got that chameleon thing going on, and there's a bit of dribble. Like, well, no help there.
Here's what you're waking up to, Adelaide.
In the news today.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
What's in the news today?
Your post-snooze news.
All the news you need to know to get you up to speed to rip into your workday. And Abby in the newsroom, there's some pretty horrendous stuff on the streets over the weekend.
This is one of the most sickening attacks I've ever seen, and from someone who used to work on Hindley Street in one of the pubs and be privy to all the CCTV, I couldn't watch this. So a young man is essentially fighting for life after the attack on Hindley Street yesterday morning. So it was around 5:30. Witnesses are basically saying there was a fight between two groups, and it started over a young woman. And then essentially this young man is walking down Hindley Street and he is attacked by another gentleman. He's punched and he's also stomped on the head. It's the second attack in as many days. So there was another man who was also attacked in Taparoo at the Peninsula Hotel. 2 people have been arrested, obviously one for each incident, but it is just a timely reminder to chat to your young men who are going out on the town, who are having a few drinks. We're trying to instill this in my nieces and nephews that, they've ruined their lives. If this guy dies, then you're up for either a possible murder charge or manslaughter. There's 4 lives that have changed here in the space of minutes.
So I thought it had
And
changed
the
across the
parents.
journey.
There's more than that.
Well, more than that, yeah.
Yeah, God.
I thought it had changed in terms from when I was coming through versus now, that kids were much more aware of the consequences of being an absolute hero and trying to go out there and throw fists.
I think to an extent they are. I mean, this isn't, obviously we can't say it's everyone that does this, but the fact that this is still happening like it is, that footage, I watch true crime. I watch all of the things. I cannot, that video,
horrific, isn't it?
I cannot watch it.
Stomping someone's face or head at point blank in a situation like that. Oh,
especially after the kid had already fallen onto the ground. He was already out cold and this guy kept going. Just horrific.
How do you deliver the message then? So if you can't get through on a humane level, we talk about the consequences. How about, do you break it down like this, saying to the young guys out there who think it's a good idea, you're not going to get away with it because there's CCTV everywhere.
Can I ask
There's
you this?
nowhere in the city where you're going to get away with
Can
it.
I ask
and
you
you're
this
probably
question,
going to go to jail.
Like, if you're a bloke and you're going out, you're a young bloke and you're going out, is there, I'm looking for a fight mentality, or is it just a situation, things evolve and you've had too much to drink and it makes you angry?
No, 100%. There's blokes that are looking for a fight. I can tell you, I've made sort of like that. And also, it depends how you react to alcohol. Like that is a big thing. And specifically, certain types of alcohol. So, for example, brown liquors doesn't sit well with me. Rum doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I've mates that give them 2 rums and they'll start swinging at themselves almost. Like I think the problem is youngsters still learning what their bodies can and can't handle, and in terms of what sort of reactions they get when it comes to alcohol as well. It's all there. The thing I've found with alcohol as well is it's what's going on. It's your darkest thoughts and the things that you are hiding sometimes come out. So if you've got a lot of anger and you're pushing that down, unfortunately, sometimes alcohol can release that.
Well, that's alcohol, isn't it? It's a masking drug. So you use it to suppress all the things that are bothering you.
Yep.
So it just, awful stuff. And I won't be watching that video because I don't think my stomach can handle it.
No.
On a lighter note, the games are coming to an end. So it's our most successful games ever, which is really cool.
Yes.
18 goals. Finished 4th behind the US, China and Japan and France. I've written down here, but that would suggest that we've finished 5th, so who knows.
We're 4th.
It's just a number.
Anyway, the Opals won bronze. They beat Belgium last night, which was awesome to see. Good reward for the girls. And Lauren Jackson winning a bronze medal at the Olympics in basketball, age 42 or 43.
Yeah, that's not bad,
It's
isn't it?
outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Silver and bronze in the cycling as well, but the centre of attention in the Athletes' Village just prior to the closing ceremony has been Raygun.
Yes, Raygun. Oh, still going, Raygun. Good moves.
So our Olympic breakdancing sensation, despite a scoreless performance, plenty of online hate, 1 million memes and 1 billion views, Raygun was dancing it up for all the other athletes. She's a bit of a cult hero now.
Oh, she is, isn't she? We will talk about this before 7 o'clock.
Abby has thoughts. They're really strong, you guys. They're super, super.
Abby's got some strong thoughts on this.
So-
Is it the whole, like, any publicity is good publicity? There's articles from the New York Post, some of the real New York Times, some of the real prominent websites
Yeah.
talking about this. I mean,
But see, I've spent my time thinking, I hope she's okay. I hope that woman's okay. There's
Yeah,
been a
that's
lot
true.
of feedback, a lot of it really negative. And then now I'm like, but she's dancing in the village, so I feel like she must be all right.
they better not be
Embracing
taking
it.
the piss. The other athletes better not be taking the piss.
Well, who
They'd
knows?
be like, oh, look, let's get her going.
Yeah.
She's dancing away. And like,
Let's fire up Raygun.
Keep going, Rachel.
There
keep
seems to
going.
there's been a bit of a backflip as well, probably over the last 24 hours, of people coming out and supporting her and saying, good on her.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think as a country we'll get around her, but yeah, interesting times.
And that, Jodes, is the filtered version of Newsreader Abby.
Newsreader Abby.
We're going to let you open up before 7 o'clock, Abs.
Abby
Get your
will-
thoughts on it, all right?
Unleashed just prior to 7.
All right, 12 minutes past 6, coming up next, 6:15 vending machine quiz. So, we need Jodes to drop the first question in a couple of minutes.
Now that's a joke.
That was a joke.
That's a joke. A joke. That's a terrible joke.
Ah, yes. Best way to start a Monday is to just hook Abby up to your veins. Let her inject that humour. She's very good at it.
Got a few ex-boyfriends who wouldn't say that, but anyway.
No? Okay.
Oh, really?
Few demons in the closet
Let's
there.
get them on, eh?
Oh, okay. Actually, we've got one on right now. 13 24 10, hello? Just getting your heart sink for a second.
We don't have enough lines open this morning for her ex-boyfriend.
You really got 8 lines.
You don't have enough time.
You got 8 lines, an extra couple. Hey, Abs, usually you go third, like a sort of Usain Bolt type situation where you bring us home. Do you want to kick us off, though, this
I'll
week
kick us
with the
off
first
today.
leg?
Okay, ready?
Yep.
What did the egg say to the boiling water?
What?
I don't know if I can get hard. I just got laid this morning.
Oh,
Actual footage of Hazy's bedroom.
another example of a joke only Abby could tell. Because for some reason,
did that.
she's just got a bit of extra leeway, do you know what I mean?
All right. Go
All right,
on
Jodes, I'll go next. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
My wife actually divorced me the other day because I'm a compulsive gambler.
then. Really?
Yeah. Ever since then, all I can think about is trying to win her back. Oh, she's a queen, though. Queen of the Nile. Oh, there we go.
She's a treasure. A dolphin treasure.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
All right.
Jodes, bring us home.
Got a bit of a marital theme this week, actually. Kevin employs a new young secretary and is then faced with a barrage, a rapid-fire number of questions from his wife about her. Does she have nice legs? Kevin replies, I didn't notice. Well, what colour are her eyes? Kevin replies, didn't have time to check them. The wife says, well, what are the nail polish colours that she uses, metallic gel or neon? Valid question. Not a clue, Kevin says. So the wife is quite exasperated by now and she says, well, how does she dress? Kevin replies, very quickly.
Oh!
Hey, Kevin!
You're in trouble.
Oh, Kevy.
Jodes, let me take you to the promised land. Ah, yes. Scotland. How about this for a little Scottish story? And it is so Scotland.
Yeah.
A Scottish farmer frantically called cops to report a tiger in his cowshed, sparking an armed police standoff, only to learn it was just a large, cuddly stuffed animal.
Sometimes they'll get you, though.
Oh, jeez, they will scare the bejesus out of you.
Yeah.
Bruce Grubb was throwing a housewarming party.
Sorry, whoa, sorry. Bruce who?
Bruce Grubb. It's his last name. What a grub. was throwing a housewarming party when he spotted the bizarre sight and called police, fearing his pregnant cows were about to be devoured.
Oh.
Bear in mind, he was throwing a house party, so he probably had a couple of tubes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He said, now I feel a bit silly for calling the police, but I thought it was a real emergency. Was that all right?
How long have you been working on that? Wait.
I was so nervous to do that, particularly with my Scottish wife probably listening.
Did she help you out with that? Or
No.
you just free-wheeled it?
She's shaking her head right now. As we speak, I can feel it. That's what he said to the Scottish Sun. He said, I had absolutely no doubt it was real. Got a hell of a scare.
Oh, now you're Irish.
The frightened farmer said the first officer to respond to the scene was so scared that he refused to get out of the squad car.
Oh, really?
Really brave policeman. Northeast Police even checked a local wildlife park to see if they had an escaped tiger on the loose after armed cops engaged in a 45-minute standoff. 45 minutes. They realised the supposedly terrifying beast was actually just a big plush toy.
Goodness gracious me.
What a nice
Goodness
story
gracious me.
for the
Goodness
housewarming.
gracious me.
Cops said they determined the false call was made with genuine good intent in a Facebook post about the ordeal. They even asked an embarrassed grub if they could keep the stuffed tiger as a mascot. It's unclear how the stuffed toy got in the shed in the first place.
Goodness. Well, it's like all stuffed toys, isn't it? Okay, you've served your purpose. Off you go. Out to the shed.
Off to stud for that tiger.
Yeah. All right. See you, Tigger.
See you, Tig.
Our next guest is a good Gold Coast girl and one of Australia's most loved singers, songwriters and producers. And you can introduce Judge on Australian Idol to her resume. Little known facts, her first job was selling T-shirts at Gone Troppo, and she went to high school with our very own Ricky Lee. Born Amy Louise Billings, she changed her name in 2013 to Shark, as Jaws was her favourite movie. Please welcome to the Jodie and Hazy Show, the most elite top bun in the business, Amy Shark.
Hazy, say a very good morning, please, to Amy Shark.
Oh, morning, Amy.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're so good. Amy, we just have to say, massive fan of your work, but a new album, it must be so nerve-wracking when it comes out.
Yeah, it is. It is when it's album 3. You kind of just pray that you're still making sense and people still care, you know?
Well, I think more so as well, Amy, when you release Cry Forever and also Love Monster and their absolute smashes and winning ARIAs and all sorts of things. Does it get easier like this time around? Is there pressure? How do you go about it?
It's a bit of a balance. Like, I try really hard to not get poisoned by knowledge of the industry, you know, because there's kind of some beauty in the franticness of those early recordings and not really overthinking anything. So I try really hard to just think about the music and not get too overwhelmed by the business side of it. But it always creeps in a little bit. So yeah, it's always scary. I mean, you spend so long on something, and all you want is for everyone to love your little baby that you've put out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there situations, and you see these ironically on social media, are there situations where some artists aren't getting a go because they don't have a prominent enough social media following?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that we're all in this horrible vortex, right, where I get caught up in it. I can spend hours on TikTok, and there's things that I actually learn. You know what I mean? It's not all bad. So I think that's what draws you in, and I constantly get served these stories of artists that are really struggling for all these twisted reasons. Like, they like my song, but I don't have a following. So I get a following, and then they think I'm a content creator, so they don't take me seriously as an artist. And it's just this cycle. It's just really hard. It's really, really hard out there to for anyone to get some sort of momentum. And because of what we went through with COVID, now there's so many internationals. There's such a backlog. So it's just a very interesting, just few hurdles that I think we've all got to get through.
So, Amy, you probably wouldn't know this about Andrew Hayes, but he is an accomplished musician. He used to do sets at the Lion Hotel. I'm not sure if you're familiar with their work on a Sunday afternoon here in Adelaide.
Crazy.
What?
And if not, Amy, treat yourself. Treat your ears for some inspiration.
Yeah. Sometimes he was even sober when he did it.
Wow.
I reckon-
Oh, my goodness.
Probably used to bang out adore you back in the day as well. I reckon.
That would have been a surefire winner, wouldn't it?
I used to sing that drunk myself if something happened before it got anywhere.
Oh, but is that why you're saying you didn't make it? Because you weren't big on TikTok? You didn't have
I
a big
think
enough
so.
following?
Yeah, I think so. Am I right, Amy? It's bloody politics. Bloody politics.
Yeah, look, you just got to put the time and effort all into TikTok, and it should all work out perfectly.
The new album, coincidentally, which was the theme when I was playing at the Line on Sundays, is called Sunday Sadness.
That was just for the people listening, though, to be fair.
Yeah, so very different areas for you, Amy. But some of the credits, and in particular,
Oh, my
Matt
God.
Corby. What's it like working with Matt Corby? Because no one has said this, but I'm pretty sure Matt Corby is my wife's hall pass.
I think there's a few wives out there with Maddie on the list, but he's just a really cool guy. I don't think he's what people expect, like he's a lot more. He's hilarious. Like he's really funny. Like I think people think he's this mysteriously cool dude, which he kind of is, but he's also just super funny and really kind of wacky, and has a great vibe in the studio and makes you feel super relaxed, but also knows how to push you. And he's obviously just worked really hard on the skill set of producing and being in that environment. And we made some really cool stuff together.
Amy, thank you so much for your time. Like we said, we can't wait to see you October 31st at Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Tickets via Live Nation. Good luck and congratulations on the new album.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it.